You may not know it. I just visited
the first ones to come.
before I left for Manila.
Thank you.
Before I left for Manila, I was in vegan.
They're the group that's trying to say that.
Kasi vegan was very Ilocano.
But they came from Manila, so
The
Ilocos
UNESCO.
Norte. Ilocos Norte.
Filipinas.
Vegan Ilocos Sur.
Vegan is Ilocos. Pero si Papa, Ilocos Norte.
Yung Ilocos Norte is arts. And the UNESCO placed a mark in vegan in Ilocos, the churches, 17th century. And you know the Nazareno, the Black Nazareno of Quiapo? They have a copy, they also have a Black Nazareno in vegan. They found this in the Pacific Ocean, floating. One of these galleon ships, the galleon trade, you know, they would capsize, they would drown, and they found this black image of Christ, the black Nazareth, the Nuestro Señor Padre de Nazareno, in vegan Ilocos Sur. And another one in Quiapo, Manila.
That's very popular.
Which is, you know, every January, tanda mo, no?
Tsaka very popular yun.
Extremely.
Ika to one too, Villa Escudero.
Ha?
Villa Escudero. There one there.
Siguro, meron. Villa Escudero is a museum spa. It's a beautiful, I've never been there. Amazingly enough, I don't really, when I'm in the Philippines, I'm so busy, I have no time to go here and there. Until when I am in Paris, the people there would remind me, in vegan, in Lawag.
So when you go back, you look for those.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That is what you do. Oh, any question? Any question? Would you like me to start it?
Please.
Okay. And then let that be the question and answer. Well, I realize the problems in the Philippines are not this similar from the problems in the US, because in the Philippines we also have the problem of balancing the budget and how to rein in all these expenditures. The budget of Aquino is over trillion pesos. Where will he get the trillion pesos? From taxes, from people like me. Because many people do not pay taxes. So, it is as though we are punished. We pay taxes. We have to pay more and more. So we are also raising the possibility. Clem, may I request you for a glass of water? Something stuck here. How to rein in the expenses. Then number two, we are so poor in manufacturing. We should be manufacturing more. The engine for production, these small businesses. It is okay if we have music and we love to sing. We are noted for this. Being models, but that is not an engine of development, unlike manufacturing. We have to manufacture. It's fine to be, every Filipino wants to be a movie star, to be a model, but that does not increase productivity level. We need to increase the productivity level. That's our problem. And so Benigno Aquino has a good policy naman, because he's really genuinely loved by the Filipinos, because he won more than 40%. Even Ramos did not win 40%, not even Gloria Arroyo, not even she got 40% of the electorate. But Pinoy Aquino did. And so, Pinoy can really be president and people will listen to him. But in my opinion, as I was telling the NEDA Director General yesterday, how does he do this? How does he stimulate the engines of production? And we even lent over $1 billion. We are now a lender of dollars. That's too arrogant. But then it is to lent $1 billion according to the World Bank.
True.
And then too, Aquino is a good president, but this idea of finger pointing, you know, Gloria Arroyo, Ramos did this, Marcos did it. Yes, we know they did that, but you are now the president. You are the president now. You preside. You cannot always blame Gloria Arroyo and Marcos and Ramos. Obama does not do that. He does not finger point because of Bush and Bush. You are the president. You preside. And people sense a kind of vindictiveness. Take the way he has treated Gloria Arroyo. Gloria Arroyo is a diminutive
Yeah,
woman,
I've seen her.
small. But before she became president, she was professor of economics in UP. She graduated summa cum laude from Assumption, I think. She took courses at Georgetown. So she is very intelligent, and she became vice president, she became senator, and she became president. You do not treat a woman that way. Of course, charges should be filed. Of course they should. But they should follow the rule of law. If there is a temporary restraining order, that is what the Supreme Court says, TRO. It does not argue well to say, but the justices of the Supreme Court were appointed by the President. Of course, who would appoint them? Except the President of the Philippines. In the same way that the justices of the Supreme Court in America are appointed by the President. But having said that, I see in Aquino a great possibility. Do you know why? He carries two very distinguished names.
Yeah, parents.
Corazon Aquino, Benigno Aquino. These are icons in Philippine history. So she has the support, really, of the Filipino nation. That's number one. Number two, he is squeaky clean. He's really very clean. There can be no charge of corruption against him or against his mother. Never mind the Coacos, but not the Aquinos. Not against Benigno, not against Corazon. Corazon is almost a sainted icon in the Philippines.
Right.
She has this, what I call, an immense reservoir of goodwill. And because the Filipino nation supports him to the tune of 40%, and I can call that as a mandate, 40%. And she is bright. Do not believe the argument that he is this. He's really bright. Well, he was not summa cum laude, but he is bright. Bright because of native intelligence. And he's not anti-American. That is good, you know, because it doesn't help if you portray yourself as anti-American. My God, there are millions of Americans, Filipinos in the Philippines. They will write their relatives, stop being anti-American, we will not send you dollars. We send you $200. Lindy Aquino was telling me she had to cough out $200 before $20 would do, or 100. Lindy yesterday, Lindy Aquino said, now I have to cough up $200, and she needs the dollars here as Professor Emeritus. And she is surrounded by good ones. Huh? The Secretary of Justice, the Commissioner of Internal Revenue, the head of COA. He is surrounded by good associates and assistants. And he's not really a politician. He was called to this task because he is an Aquino. It is as though it was made ready, this stage was. So can you imagine that goodwill, what he can do? And what is more, as the Director General said yesterday, the investment companies have positive news about us. Our growth is nearing the growth rate, economic growth of Singapore for the first time. That is to say 7+%. That is something. But here is the problem. The macroeconomic realities, figures, have to filter to Juan de la Cruz, Juana de la Cruz. Like my relatives, when they go to market, they want to feel this prosperity, they don't. So they say we don't understand the macro figures. What about the micro figures? The Director General said something nice in answer to our question. Lydia and I acted as reactors. It will take a while, 5 years or even 10 years, for them to feel that it will filter through. One good thing about that government is it's really transparent. Everything goes to the press, or to YouTube, or to Twitter, or to blog. And Pinoy knows that. He is attuned to the will of the people. So I'm challenging the President, if he can have a kind of vision. I'm sure he has a vision for us. One thing you can say about Marcos, you can say anything against Marcos, but Marcos had a vision. He said, the Philippines shall be great again. Of course, he did not tell us what he meant by the Philippines becoming great again. But at least he has that vision. The Philippines can be great again. Or Gloria. The motto of Gloria is towards a stronger republic. Something like that. Or Ramos. I suggested yesterday at the Philippine Consulate, perhaps we can have a mission, something like Filipinas para los Filipinos. The Philippines for the Filipinos. And then I added the question, because if the Philippines is not for the Filipinos, for whom is it? Is it for the Chinese? Is it for the Japanese? Or the Americans? Or the British? And that can happen. Do you know why? On the Panatag Shoal, there are already oil investments, and they're coming from British, American, Filipino. And China knows that. The People's Republic of China knows that. That is why it sent warships to warships. China is a great naval power. Although he is a landlocked state, he has a powerful navy. People's Republic of China sent two warships. What did we send? Well, we sent, I think, our Philippine Coast Guard. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was going to say.
I'm kidding. But we sent, but it cannot be set up that way. And then he sent Rojas and Trillanes as ambassadors, as envoys. We are insisting on diplomatic solution. Another of our problems would be the Moro National Liberation Front. Recently there was a treaty concluded, the MNLF. From the looks of it, it looks good, except what do they mean by property that has always been there? Like, they used the phrase, my senior moment, I cannot remember it, but something like, if they were in Mindanao, and even if there are Christians in Mindanao, the title goes to them. We have the title, the Christians in the north got the title because Spain introduced the Torrens title from Justice Torrens of the Spanish Judicial Court. Now, the Moros never believed in a Torrens title because they have always lived there. And then all of a sudden, the Christian from the north will say, but I have this Torrens title and deeds. They even say, the Torrens title and deeds. And on the strike of this small paper, I own this. And that is the start of war, you know. No Muslim will allow that. I think they will, I think there is the possibility of creating really a separate state within a state.
For the Moros?
I will not call it a state within a state, but something like, probably something like the federal system, where you will recognize the Moro National Liberation Front in certain areas where they enforce laws of Morolandia, of the National Liberation Front, except there is no unity among them. For example, the group of Soiree, that is different, that is the Moro National Liberation Front, that's Soiree. This one is the Moro Islamic movement. They do not see eye to eye. Noor was interviewed on TV. I know him, he's a friend of mine from UP. And he said, no, pwera kami rito eh. Hindi kami kasama rito.
We are not included.
The Arab, the Islam are really noted for this unity. They cannot combine. There is always this one sect, another sect, like in Libya, like in Iraq, like everywhere. In the Middle East. You see?
Palestine.
There is here. Now, and what will happen to the sovereignty of the Philippines? We may lose Mindanao, in my opinion. You know, the Americans tried to deprive us of Mindanao in the Treaty of Paris. They had only in mind Luzon, Visayas, but never Mindanao, because they know the investment and economic opportunities of Mindanao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then isn't it true that nobody, including the Japanese and the Americans and the Spaniards, ever conquered the Moros?
Conquered in the sense they were subjugated, because how do you conquer them? They're everywhere. You know, from the Basilan Sea with their boats, they can sail to Malaysia. They can sail to Sumatra, to Indonesia, and no coast guards can capture them. They're so fast.
And their religious loyalty is to go to Mecca.
Of course, Islamic.
What's the Filipino there?
But that is the Islamic religion. We respect that. But the point is, well, I don't